session?
J.K., Wise, Jamichael. Am I missing any? Yeah, everybody else practiced.
So Klay is okay.
Yeah. Steph practiced. Wiggs, Klay. Can't remember who. But yeah. We had a good practice. We scrimmaged it a little bit, got up and down. The heavy minutes guys did not. Loon, Draymond, Dante, Jordan, the guys who have been overloaded here the last couple of weeks didn't scrimmage, but the guys who are just coming back scrimmaged with some of the coaches and some of the reserves. So it's a good day.
Are you at all a little bit concerned? Not concerned, maybe, but keeping an eye on Loon's workload? Obviously he carries a lot because he's your primary big. But at some point, do you want to try and give him a day off, even if he doesn't want it?
I really defer to the training staff on all that, and I'm concerned about Draymond and Loon right now. Just they've been playing such heavy minutes with the number of bigs who have been out over the last few weeks between Jamichael and James and now J.K. So those guys have been playing heavy minutes, and it's that time of year anyway that's difficult, after the new year, before the All-Star break, raining every day. It's the guys who've been playing heavy minutes absolutely need a break, but you got to do what you got to do, and I'm really proud of them, of that whole group, but of Loon and Draymond in particular, just given the circumstances. What they've done for us the last couple of weeks, keeping us afloat, has been really impressive. But yes, it'd be nice to get them a little rest.
Today's the 1-year anniversary of Klay getting back on the court. It's hard to probably put into words what that day meant, but throughout this last year, the ebbs and flows that he's gone through, just what have you thought about his progress?
It's great having Klay back. Obviously, now that it's been a year, you can reflect a little bit, and my reflection goes to the night he came back, the ovation, the incredible reception he received from our fans, the energy that was in the building, and then the slow climb back up, which included winning a championship and some amazing nights throughout the playoffs where he was just incredible, and then back at it this year. With a lot of highs and lows. So this is the life of the professional athlete, and Klay has lived it all now, given the injuries, the titles, the records. He has literally seen it all, and I'm really proud of him for just persevering through so much in his life, and even in this season, just to get to the level where he's playing right now. It's been a lot of work.
Draymond and Steph have both kind of talked about, in their own words, how this discourse or notion of is Klay back? Is he, what percentage of himself is he? They say we can't even have that conversation because he's different. How have you seen Klay over the past year maybe adjust his own expectations of himself, try not to compare himself to who he was before, and accept the fact that he can still be an incredible player, but it is different.
I think that's been a big part of Klay's journey this past year, is sort of understanding the circumstances and finding the right balance between believing in himself and understanding that he's had 2 major injuries and he's 32. Is that right? Is he 32 now? Raymond memorizes everybody's ages. So there's a fine line there. Like you want to still think of yourself as Superman, but you also have to recognize that you've been through a lot, and Father Time catches up to all of us, and you have to navigate that. And it's not an easy job. So I've seen him struggle with that, but I've also seen him progress on that front these last few weeks. I think he's talked about it. He's gotten to the point where he's appreciating being on the floor more, which is in turn relaxing him, which is in turn helping him play better.
I wonder if we can touch on the mental side of those injuries for Klay too, and I'll ask him this question as well. But when you're in a space of 941 days of rehab and waiting and constantly you're hurt, and suddenly, oh, I can play now, I'm not hurt. What do you think it did for him to come back and help a team win a championship, to help with that mental side of what had to be really tough?
Yeah, I mean, it's all sort of part of the package, and you know, that's something he should be able to lean on. The fact that, you know, he was out for 2 years, we didn't make the playoffs. He came back, we won a championship. I know it's not that simple, but we don't win the championship without him. We know that. One of the best players at his position of all time. We know his impact here, and he's still very capable, as he's shown, of being hugely impactful.
Steve, what has made Dante such a good fit for this team this season?
I think Dante would be a good fit with any team, honestly, just because of his toughness, his grit, his anticipation, the way he chases down long rebounds and loose balls. His teammates love him because of how tough he is, the competitiveness, and he's unafraid. You know, he takes and makes big shots. So he's a good fit with us. But like I said, I think he'd be a good fit with any team because of that package.
When you're evaluating like a potential player, how big is winning? You know, the fact that player has won a lot. Maybe in the past he's pretty much won everywhere he's been.
I think it's a big thing. It's harder to gauge that these days because more and more players are coming into the league without much experience. But, you know, you get a guy like Dante who's, you know, won a couple of national championships. You know he's felt, you know, big-time pressure and come through. I mean, he was Final Four MVP. To me, that informs what you can expect at this level. Doesn't guarantee it, but I think it helps give you a feel for, you know, if a player can handle the intensity and the competitiveness.
I just want to check on Andre, and I know you said everybody made it through practice, but how is his body feeling? And do you think that baseline of 11 or 12 minutes for him will be the baseline for a little while going forward?
He came out of the game fine. He practiced fully today, scrimmaged, so he's doing well. And it's hard to predict, you know, minutes, but you know, he'll definitely be part of the rotation, and we'll just take it game to game.
I know the other day you said that Patrick, you see him more as a 4, but because of his shot, he can be more of a 3 also. With the time he's been playing more and more lately, where have you seen him kind of grow the most, and especially kind of on the defensive end, what's the next step for him there?
Yeah, you know, the next step is really learning tendencies in this league. You know, the other night, Wagner got the ball and at the top of the key, and PBJ closed out hard, and Wagner went by him right and laid it in. I took a timeout, and I said, as he was walking off the floor, I said to Patrick, you know what you did wrong? And he goes, yeah, Wagner goes right. I go, good. That's perfect. Like, it's okay to make the mistake as long as you recognize what it was and you learn from it. And now you got to do that, you know, times 375, however many players are in the league. You got to know everybody, and that's a big part of being a rookie as you come into this league. And you don't know tendencies. It all has to go into the Rolodex. So he's learning, but I think he's got a really bright future. I mean, he's skilled, he's smart, he's aware, and he works at it. So he's an exciting prospect.
Steve, even though you guys are 5 of 7 on this homestand, and your fourth quarter defense and specifically has been really good. 95.3 is your rating, but some of that's skewed by the Portland game and the Utah game where they didn't get anything after the third quarter. But on the offensive end, it looks like there are just times when the offense just doesn't really get much done in the fourth quarter. What's been the issue that you can see?
Yeah, we saw a lot on tape in the Orlando game offensively that we touched on today. We're having a lot of possessions where we're going stagnant. We're not getting a dive man. We're 5 out on the perimeter and just pass, without anybody setting a screen and diving to the rim and pulling the defense in. So that's something we worked on today, something we'll continue to work on. And, you know, it's there's always slippage when you have a schedule like we've had with a ton of games and very little practice time. And so even though we've been at home, we've had a good stretch at home, we've had so many games that we've given the guys days off because our guys are fried, a lot of them, you know, from having to play so many minutes. And so you get slippage at times like these, and that's why I practice like today. You go through the fundamentals, like everything's important, you know, being in the right spot, just being, you know, a little further deeper into the corner gives the spacing that allows a play to happen. And, you know, that breaks down, everything breaks down. And so we worked on all that stuff today.
How comfortable are you with 2 of every 3 shots being three-pointers like they were in that game? And on the other hand, the lack of free throws, you guys, I think, are close to last in the league in terms of free throws, if not last. Which is more of an issue for you, just getting 3 happy or just not getting to the rim and getting free throws?
Well, I think both of them are related to personnel. You know, we don't have a break you down team. We don't have a one-on-one team, you know, where we're going to space the floor and attack people downhill. And then, you know, if we're not getting the dive on the pick and roll, then we're not pulling the defense in, and we're not getting the ball near the hoop or into the paint where you're likely to draw more fouls, and then you're likely to launch more threes. I thought that was the case the other night. We launched threes because we weren't getting any penetration at all, and a lot of our threes were late clock where we had nothing else. So I gave Orlando a lot of credit after the game, and they deserved it. They're long and athletic, and they've gotten a lot better defensively since the first time we saw them. But we saw a lot of stuff that we needed to do better.
One more, I got a couple of things on his docket. How is Klay's knee feeling now since the weekend?
He practiced fully today, so he said he was feeling fine.
You're expecting him to play in the next game?
Yeah, he should play tomorrow.